And as I mentioned, there are different forms and different shapes to this hizbiyya and ta'ifiyya that the author is warning against. And then basing your wala wal bara upon that. Naam, for example, having 2 or 3 mashayikh and everything goes back to them. So what they say, that is the correct manhaj. And anybody who disagrees them from the ulama, then they are disregarded. This is also from al-hizbiyya. And subhanallah, nowadays there's a statement that I've heard over and over again, and this I want to mention it. And no doubt, this is a statement based upon ignorance and based upon al-hizbiyya. And that is that you find a talib al-ilm, an alim or talib al-ilm, a masjid, upon the sunnah, upon the correct aqidah. And yet, you'll find that masjid or that da'i being criticized. And if you say, okay, but what are their mistakes? Nothing in aqidah is mentioned. No bid'ah is mentioned. What is said? They are not with the elders of the da'wah. Now, this is the same hizbiyah which the author is speaking about. This da'wah does not have elders that you have to return back to. Sometimes they say, they're not with the elders of the da'wah. Sometimes they will say, they are not with the senior ustads of the UK. Sometimes they'll say they are not with the brothers. You know, if you were to translate these words into Arabic or into Urdu, you know what the translation would be? They are not with the brothers, meaning they're not with the ikhwan. And we criticize Ikhwan al-Muslimin for this. We say the ikhwani because they are basing their alliances and their dissociation upon what? Upon al-ikhwan. And here they are saying that they're not with the brothers. Okay, but is anything wrong with their aqidah? Nothing. Have they done any bid'ah? Nothing. Is there anything against their manhaj? Nothing. But they're not with the ikhwan. خلاص, هذا هو الحزبية. And if you were to translate, they're not with the elders of the da'wah in Urdu, you know what that would be? Buzurg. In like the Sufiya, they say they're not with the buzurg. He speaks against the buzurg, meaning the elders. The awliya and the elders. This is the same hizbiyah which they are suffering from. And similarly, they're not with the senior ustads of the da'wah. So this is something also we have to be careful about. Our da'wah is based upon the Quran and the Sunnah. And any group who agrees with the Quran and Sunnah, we're with them. And any group who conflicts or goes against the Quran and the Sunnah, we don't agree with them. Even if it's amongst ourselves. And we don't have this, al-wala to ikhwan or brothers or the elders of the da'wah or the asatidha. I'll give you an example. Let's say in Nelson, a very small town. Let's say a da'i comes to Nelson, right? And he lives in Nelson 10 years. And he never enters into this masjid, Masjid Sunnah. And we never know him. And he goes to another masjid. And he does all of his teaching in another masjid. But he teaches the correct aqidah. And he teaches the Sunnah. And he teaches at-Tawheed. And he teaches the books that we know, and we teach the books of Hadith, Kitab al-Tawheed, Al-Aqidat al-Wasatiyah, the books of the Salaf, the books of Hadith. We cannot say that he is not a Sunni or he's not upon the correct manhaj because he did not come with us or he did not come to the masjid. Even if he remained in this town for 10 years and he never entered into this masjid and we never sat with him, but he calls to Islam, he calls to Tawheed, he calls to the correct Aqidah, he's our brother. And we are united in one message. Yes, if ta'awun happens, and if cooperation happens, and you visit each other for the sake of Allah, and you take part in lessons and conferences and efforts, and you're united in that way, that's something which is good. But from the angle of a ta'awun, not from the angle of, but he didn't come and, show his presence at my masjid. And he never came to my lesson or to my meeting. So these are some hidden forms of ta'ifiyya and hizbiyya which we have to be careful of.